Hey everyone, in today's video, we're going to be talking about a sensitive topic that many people worry about when applying for immigration to Canada. It's the question of whether having a visa refusal in the United States or any other country, including Canada, will affect your immigration application to Canada. Some questions that I hear a lot are, does it matter if I was refused 8 years ago? It was 20 years ago. Does it matter? Would a refusal put a red mark on my file? Or can I come to Canada? If you have any of these questions or anything similar, then don't worry, we're going to be covering those questions in this video, and we'll be speaking about different ways it could affect you, and also some ways around it. So, let's get into it. The first thing you must realize is the importance of declaring refusals. Whether you apply for immigration to Canada, you need to declare if you've had a refusal in the United States or any other country. This is because the Canadian government has various ways to verify this information. Especially in this internet-connected world that we live in, they have access to a copious amount of information. Additionally, there are several countries with information sharing agreements who share various databases. So this is not something you should hide, and you should always assume that the government already knows. Not declaring a refusal can result in a misrepresentation and even a ban from Canada for 5 years, which can be extremely devastating on so many different levels. So, back to the question. Does a refusal affect your visa application? The short answer is yes. However, it doesn't necessarily mean that your application will be denied this time. Many people worry about their immigration application after being rejected in Canada or another country, and rightfully so, because it's never nice to be told no. Nevertheless, it's important to note that having a previous refusal doesn't mean that you'll be refused again. As each file is unique and each case is different, it can depend on what was submitted in the new file and what was previously provided. If your information has changed or gotten stronger, then the decision may change, and you can have different variables to contend with. That's why I always tell my clients the biggest job that we have is to put everything into context. I can tell you that I've dealt with clients who've come to me with multiple refusals, and we've strategically planned the resubmissions with explanations and supporting documentation and received subsequent approvals. Heck, I even had one person that had 5 refusals from her self-represented applications. She actually dug a really big mess for herself, and we were able to get her approved on the 6th submission. So today, as I film this video, I can tell you that she's settled in Canada and she's actually a citizen with her family and doing extremely well. So, if this is you, don't despair. You're just going to have to put everything into context and make sure that you provide it properly this time. That's it. So, let's get into how we can do that for you. It's essential to be transparent about the refusal and to explain why it happened. Additionally, you need to articulate why it shouldn't be a concern for the visa officer. The visa officer is supposed to consider all the details and treat every application as if it's the first. And sometimes I question if that's the case, but for the purpose of what the rules and procedures say, that's what they're supposed to do. Therefore, being honest and clear about your previous refusal can turn into a strength in your application. It's all about the context. You can point out what is better about the new documentation and how it complies with the eligibility requirements as an example. After a refusal in Canada, you can apply for the officer's notes, as honestly, the form-generated letter that you receive with any refusal will tell you very little, and in some cases leave you more confused and with more questions than answers. By having these notes, this should allow you to see the officer's justifications and reasons for the refusal. This is also essential in planning how to address the refusal and how to move forward in subsequent applications. If you don't have these reasons, it's kind of like you're fighting blindfolded with both hands behind your back. So you really do need those. And in some cases, you'll read them and be baffled as to how they reject you in the first place. Look, on a professional note, when I have someone who comes to me with a refusal, I will not file anything until I've looked at the officer's notes, and in most cases, I will cut and paste those into the resubmission and address them very methodically. There you go. Now you have a bit of our secret sauce about our refusal success, and this is one of the things that we do. This is something that you actually really should be doing on every type of refusal that you have if you know what it is. So again, don't fear the refusal, just get in and address it. Instead, focus on articulating why it happened and why it's different now. Additionally, explain why it shouldn't be a concern for the visa officer. This way, you can turn the situation into an opportunity to showcase your honesty and transparency. So let me sum this up for you and give you 5 tips that are essential, with some additional tips that you can use to overcome a refusal and improve your chances of getting approved for your Canadian immigration application. Number 1, firstly, be honest. It's best to be transparent and declare any previous refusals to Canada or any other countries. And in case you haven't been watching this video, I've said that a few times. Don't try to hide it and provide false information, as it can lead to misrepresentation, which, as I said, will result in a ban from Canada for upwards of 5 years. I know I've already said this in the video, but I'm going to say it again because it needs to be said. Number 2, explain the reason for the refusal and provide any supporting documents that can help clarify the issue. If you were refused for a specific reason, such as lack of funds, provide evidence that you now have enough funds to support yourself in Canada. And you can say, hey, listen, before when I applied, I didn't have enough, but now I do. Showing an improvement can also help demonstrating that you've improved your situation since the refusal. So number 3, show this improvement. For example, if you were refused due to insufficient ties to your home country, show how you've established stronger ties since then. This could be having a stable job, buying some property, working overseas, coming back, sending money home, investments, any number of different things. Anything along this line that shows that you have an intention to be in your home country or that you're tied to it is certainly a benefit. You can also consider seeking help of a licensed immigration consultant like me. Yes, a little bit of shameless self-promotion, but as professionals, we have experience working with cases and can guide you through the process while helping to present a strong case. While this may be an option that requires some cost, ultimately it's an investment, may be worth the support and approval in that end. This especially is the case when dealing with a refusal, as you already have a history and it could potentially be working against you, so you're going to need to articulate that and make sure that you come out and make sure everything is put in context. I know I've said that word a few times, but it's important because everything is context. Number 5, lastly, be patient. The Canadian immigration system can be long and complex, even though it's presented to you as simple, so having a previous refusal can add to the processing time. All right? Be patient, keep track of your application status regularly, and also know that there are some AI systems that are being used, and you could immediately be sorted into a different stream for processing when you have a refusal. All right. Lastly, it's also essential to note that the impact of the refusal on your Canadian immigration application can vary depending on the type of refusal. For example, a refusal for a visitor visa may not have the same impact as a refusal for a work permit or a study permit, or obviously a permanent resident application. Additionally, the reason for the refusal can affect your application. For instance, a refusal due to criminal inadmissibility can have more severe consequences than a refusal due to lack of funds. Sure, you can figure that one out. So, to sum up, a visa refusal in the United States or any other country can certainly affect your application to Canada. Again, it's essential to be transparent about it and explain why it happened, and this can be done by just being honest and articulating and providing context as to the reason of the refusal. Showing improvement, seeking professional help, and being patient can all help overcome the refusal and improve your chances of getting approved. So, if you've had a refusal, don't be discouraged and seek help to present an honest case. With the right approach, a previous refusal can turn into a strength to your application. Just articulate it, why it shouldn't be a concern for the visa officer, and then we'll see you here in Canada soon. As always, thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you can be alerted to all the informative videos and get all the advice you need about Canada and doing well here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.